So this is a bit of an update and I guess now a long-term test on this bike I've got here, the Cannondale Systemsix. I've had this bike now for about 8 months, since the start of 2019. In that time I've probably amassed about 4,000 or 5,000 kilometers, despite having lots of other bikes to test. This has been my sort of go-to. Almost all the riding here in the heart of Wales, stunning countryside, and some beautiful climbs like this one, which is the Black Mountain. So it's a good testing ground for, well, an aero bike, but an aero bike that I think can climb really well. So biggest thing I've done on this bike now, just come back from the Alps and done the Tour du Mont Blanc. That is what they class as an ultra fondo. It has 333 kilometers in distance, with pretty massive 8,400 meters of climbing, and has a loop that goes all the way around Mont Blanc. That event went well. I finished 8th overall out of about 700 that started, and this bike performed absolutely brilliantly. I've made a few changes, more to suit me personally rather than to try and improve anything, and I'll go through some of those changes now. Okay, so just looking at some of the changes I made, probably the biggest one overall is switching to Dura-Race Di2. The original bike which I had for test, which was Dura-Race Mechanical, has the cables coming out of this port here. That interfered with how I like to climb, so I had the option to go to a Di2 setup, and yeah, Di2 is pretty amazing, so that's made a nice difference. It's running with a 910 bar end junction box. Reason I'm able to do that is because I've got some very nice NV aero bars on there, and these bars are fully compliant with a bar end, so the cable goes all the way inside, which is quite rare for a carbon bar aero bike. Other changes, again, yeah, so the bar, I've also changed the stem, moved the stackers down, so just running that minimal stacker. Now all the cables go inside, so they're all completely hidden apart from a tiny little spot that's showing there. For this bike and for the Alps trip, I'm running new wheels. So these are from the British company Just Riding Along. They are custom built wheels, so they're bespoke hubs which they have made themselves. Rims which are made themselves, running on Bitex hubs, straight poles, CX-ray spokes with alloy nipples. They are in the region of 1,300 grams. That saved about 500 grams as a whole wheel system against the Cannondale hologram wheels which we're running, although that includes an upgraded cassette. These wheels actually come from another bike I have, but they're going back onto that bike. The hologram wheels are fantastic in themselves. I only switched them because of the extremes of the Alps and the amount of climbing that I was doing. Another personal choice is a specialized Roman Evo saddle. The original saddle was okay, as were the original bars, but just they're just personal choices. Otherwise, it's pretty much as it was. So the crankset's the same, the frame is the same, seat post is the same, and I've kept the wheels, so they're going to be going back on now. Long term, any downsides of the bike, there's very few. One tiny downside is, as you can see there, this is chipped, so you can ignore the discoloration because it hasn't been cleaned in a while, but because of the bump stops and the way that the steering works, they occasionally knock and the paint is chipped off. Otherwise, you know, that happens on both sides, you see there. Otherwise, no negatives at all. This bike has climbed brilliantly. It's really fast. It's brilliant downhill. You know, I mean, the reason that I've still got it and I love it so much is just because it does everything. For a bike, so weight wise this is now 7.4 kilos without pedals, which is very competitive for a aero carbon bike. Some of the specs that I found, so I've stripped it all down, and to rebuild, the frame is 1400 grams there or thereabouts. I'll put exact weights on the screen. Fork, then a little bit extra on top of that. I don't think you could get this down to 6.8 unless you were running like crazy lightweight wheels and tubeless, but that's probably not what this bike is aimed for. And I think personally, especially after doing Tour du Mont Blanc, the extra weight that you might carry over a carbon rim brake bike is minimal, and the positives that you get from having a very fast, really stable, really comfortable and really secure bike is a big plus. So I'd absolutely recommend this bike. This has been my highlight of the year, and yeah, it definitely gets 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10, whatever you want to give it. This is just brilliant. So big thumbs up.